this screencast, I'm going to talk about how to use our word list and review features to make it easier to play our text adventure game Into the Haze. So when you start Into the Haze, you might feel that there's an overwhelming amount of vocabulary that you're not familiar with. And one way to approach it is to just play the game and learn stuff as you go. But if you want to be more systematic in learning the words and practicing the words, reviewing them, you might consider using our review activities to prepare for this game. So if you go to word lists, we've published we've made some public lists that are specifically for our certain adventure games. So here is Into the Haze Text Adventure Game Words Part 1. These are the 499 words that appear 3 or more times in the game. And so I'm going to fork it to make a personal copy for my account. That way you can edit the list and each person can have their own list of the words. Now this list includes a lot of words that you may already know. And so rather than study all of these words, you can prune the list. So first I'm going to show you my knowledge stage ratings. So I've marked these words as the green ones are ones that I've mastered, red ones are ones that I've discovered, and so on. So if I want to prune the list, I can prune it. I can prune off all the ones that, all the words that I've mastered, let's say. And maybe I want to also prune off the ones that I've marked as learning. So that brings the list down to, so that would remove 217 words. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those. And maybe there's some other words that I want to remove that I know pretty well already. Okay. So I'll remove these words too. Okay, so now we're down to 274 words. Now what we can do is go into the review and SRS category, and we'll do this pronunciation recall. And this is a flashcard-based activity that presents you with the Chinese characters and asks you, do you remember the pinyin? And so this is most similar to reading, and therefore good practice for these text adventure games. And to study this activity specifically with the words on our word list, we prepare a custom review session. And let's say we want to study 20 cards. And I'll also select words from your word lists. And specifically we want this word list Into the Haze Text Adventure Games Part 1. And so I'll remove the other word lists. So if we select just Into the Haze Text Adventure Game words, then those are the only words that will be introduced. And we also want to limit reviews to the selected word lists. That means if we've already studied a bunch of words and we have stuff pending in our review queue, we don't review those at the moment. We only review words that are in this game. So that leaves us with 274 words, and I'll go ahead and start the activity. Now, let's see. This one I don't remember, so I'm going to say not sure. Wei-yi. Okay, so it means only, soul. Let's continue. This one I know. Hai, shi. Okay, so I think this must be neutral tone. Yes. Maybe ling. Yep. And deng. Okay. So now we're studying only words that are in the game. And after you've practiced a bunch of these words, I think you'll find that going back into the game, a lot of things will look familiar, and it'll be easier to sort of get through the game at a reasonable speed, and thus also be more enjoyable. Okay, so that's sort of the basic idea of how you can start with the words that are in the game, prune them down to the ones that you really want to study, and practice them using an activity, a flashcard activity on WordSwing. So hopefully that makes the text adventure games a bit more accessible and gives you a sort of procedure to really dig in and learn the vocabulary of the games. And being able to review it is one thing, but the real test of have you learned it is, can you go through the game and understand what's being said and contextualize these words that you've learned through flashcards. So anyway, we hope that that's helpful, and look forward to seeing you again soon at WordSwing.